Hi, and welcome to Long Island Paranormal Investigators Presents Ghost News Network. Today we're bringing you your question of the week. So Tom, what do you have for us?
So this week's question of the week is, have you had any experiences that truly scared you?
Damn good question. Yeah, I mean, a lot of experiences. I guess the big one that sticks out was probably, was that 4 or 5 years ago, in Mount Misery, Site 3. This was the year after we caught, what Shannon saw, picked up a name, what Dimitri saw, it matched. It's like a year later we went back, and same things were happening. We were walking in, and we would get the smells of rotten eggs, and we'd target each one individually. I heard screaming, heard kids playing in the woods. So overall eerie feeling throughout the night, as usual, like that place usually has. And then towards the end of the investigation, we were trying to do a full-blown overnight there, and I think maybe about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes later, I looked into the woods, and my group was the furthest back, distance from everything. And I look in the woods, and I see I call them four beings, that's the best I can say, humanoid shape, about maybe 4.5, 5 feet tall, brown cloak, black face, nothing in the face, one in the front, 3 in the back, looked dead at me. And the feeling I got basically was, come back here and see what happens to you. And I was like, let's go, we're out. And that was probably the most threatening. I remember it like it happened yesterday. But that was pretty scary. But we go back.
Oh yeah. Scariest thing that's ever happened to me was before I joined Long Island Paranormal Investigators. I was in another group in Massachusetts, and we did this house case. It was a woman and her daughter, and they were having an activity. And we came in, started doing our thing. A couple of the girls were downstairs in the basement. It was like, a couple couches set up in an L shape and like a little entertainment area. And they caught like this weird picture. It looked like something was standing over where the bar area was. So they came upstairs, we swapped spaces. Me and this other guy went downstairs and we were talking, and then he felt like really cold. So I got up and I went over to him, and I actually found like a cold spot, put my hand right in it, and it moved, and I was following it. And it actually led me to the spot where that photo was taken. When I got to that point, it felt like somebody took a hot poker and just stabbed me right in the base of my spine and my neck. I couldn't speak. I blacked out and actually fell. As soon as I came through, it had to have been maybe 5-10 seconds. I came back and I was trying to talk to tell the guy to take pictures, and I couldn't actually speak. At the same time, upstairs, the daughter of the mother was getting scratched in front of everybody. And the mom got really mad and actually yelled out, do whatever you want to me, but leave my daughter alone, cursing, kept out of it. And at that point, everything in the house felt like it was starting to shake. There was a stack of DVDs near the steps, and somebody swatted them across the room at us. Me and this guy, his name was Jason, we came up and we ran up the stairs, and as soon as we came up the stairs and turned around the corner to the living room, the girls were freaking out. The mom was on the couch, the daughter was crying, and the couch actually lifted off the ground and started to shake and went like that. Terrified, and I told everybody needs to get out. I told the mom to get out, the daughter to get out, everybody needs to leave. We actually ended the investigation. We had a demonologist go in there and do a exorcism and a blessing on the house, and in speaking to him, he told me that feeling and sensation that I had experienced was a sign of a demon trying to possess you. That really freaked me out. The whole experience was very scary. I tried to keep my cool as much as I could, but that shook me for a while. I didn't go on an investigation for a little while after that, till I could sort through everything. And to hear me say it sounds like one thing, but to actually see that shit happen, it changes the way you look at things. But I think that those experiences made me a stronger investigator overall, and I feel like I'm more mentally prepared for any type of harder or more difficult investigations that we come across, thanks to that experience. Yeah, because like even when we had that thing happen in Mount Misery, it was still scary, and I knew we needed to leave, but it wasn't as scary as that was, because that was physically like on me. So that would be mine. What do you got, Shannon?
I guess. I guess it's not so much the scariest thing. It's like the most. I guess it was kind of scary. It's what caused me to join the group in the first place. I went to Normandy Inn with a few friends of mine that I didn't really actually know, so they were more of acquaintances. We were gonna try and investigate because I kept having all these experiences throughout my life, and I thought that I was either psychic or crazy. So I went to this place, knew nothing about it, and while I was there, I started to pick up on a woman. And I was getting two names, so I don't know if she went by one or the other, but it was Marie or Maria. And it's hard for me to talk about because of what I experienced, sorry. While I was there, I was focused on the top floor. We weren't inside the building, but I was focused on the top floor in that like left window up there, and I could feel this woman and I could see her when I closed my eyes as if I was looking through her eyes, and she was being raped and strangled to death. And I thought, is this my imagination? Like, am I sick? Or, you know, whatever. And so I tried to, like, let it go, and it just kept repeating in my head over and over and over again. And then my lips started to go numb, and my hands started to go numb. And I realized that I was feeling as if I was being strangled without the choking, like the symptoms that you would get. And so we left. Totally put it out of my head, and then I was looking up other places, and then I came across that on their website. And so I was like, well, that's interesting, considering that's exactly what I experienced there. I'm going to reach out to them, and that's what led me here. Freaked me out, I guess.
Mine, I've had a couple that have, like, you know, scared me. One really shook me just because it just stands out. We were at Lake George investigating the battlefield, and I remember we were at Fort George. We walked up there. It was a weird night. It was like someone. It was intense. We walked up to Fort George, and for some reason, I just remember, like, it just starts getting, like, fuzzy. I remember standing there and looking at another one of our investigators at the time, and I just had the overwhelming urge to hurt him. Just hurt him, like, bad. Like, it was just like this compulsion. Like, I felt like a roid rage, something like that. Like, where it was just, like, overwhelming. I just remember saying, like, I want to hurt him, I want to hurt him. And I actually had to turn to another investigator and say, you know, like, I really want to hurt that person. And so they're like, all right, let's, I think you said,
That was me.
Let's get some distance between the two. And then it just starts I blacked out. I just started, like, I remember then being at the back of Fort George and staring into the woods and just feeling drawn, like someone was calling me home, like when, you know, when you're a kid and you have to go home and mom's calling you. And it was just like that, and it just kept going in and out and in and out. And the fact that I wasn't in control of my body, I felt like, is, I think, terrifying. Compared to, like, something jumps and you know, like,
that happens to you all the
yeah,
time.
like, but yeah, that really shook me, and, like, I didn't really come to until we were back at the campsite. It was just, like, with sporadic memories throughout the night until I was back at the campsite, and I remember just sitting there staring at the fire, and I left and just went to bed, because I was just like,
yeah, that was weird.
I was just like, it wasn't me, like, it was just really weird. Yeah.
What about you, Rocco?
I'm going to be the one that balances all of this out. I have not had a crazy experience yet. I've seen things, heard things, but nothing that's really, shook me. I'm like the anti-sensitive or something like that. So I'm waiting. One day, hopefully, we'll see.
So we're gonna go to Satan's Shelter and drop you off by yourself, and then we're gonna come back here and he's gonna talk all about it.
This is
That's
nuts.
it. Good luck.
You got Will.
Kind of along the same lines. There hasn't been anything that truly scared me. I've been startled quite a bit, but I think the closest we came was actually our most recent investigation. Should I say the name of the place yet, or what?
Wait, George?
No.
No, just
Okay.
a
So
local
a
museum.
local historical place, and in the basement there's a lot of artifacts and stuff. And just to make a long story short, Tom and I were on opposite ends of the basement, and we were doing an EVP session, asking normal questions. And Tom asked, "If you don't want us here, give us a sign and we'll leave." And within 5 seconds, you just hear a loud, like a pop and then a smash. So we both like expletives, not included. We said, what
It's
was
a
that?
PG show.
What was that? I turned my flashlight on and I noticed about 5 feet from me, not really in the middle of us, but to my right, there was a shattered light bulb. And if you've ever heard a shattered light bulb, when it breaks, it like makes a pop noise because it's got all that gas in there. And that's exactly what we heard. So I didn't think to investigate that anymore at that moment because we just got a sign. We got to get the hell out of here. So we went upstairs and we ended up going back down with more investigators and found out that that light bulb, it was a normal bulb light bulb, but there was no socket near it that it could have fell off of. There wasn't like a stash of light bulbs on any of the shelves. There was no one near that. So, but the only empty socket was directly above where I was standing. So whatever it was, it would have had to come out of the socket, completely unscrew itself because the base was on the ground too. It didn't like just break.
Yeah.
So it would have had to unscrew the whole light bulb out of that socket, fly 5 feet that way, and then land and break. So that was pretty scary, but
That was cool.
I haven't been involved where the couch floated away.
That's so fun.
And to just piggyback on that a little bit, I didn't realize like how startled I was by that until I went upstairs to go tell the employee of the museum what had happened. So he was aware, and he looked at me, and he knew something was up before I even said it. And I realized at that point, my heart was pounding in my chest from that. So yeah, that was.
I remember telling you guys about it, what happened, and my hand was shaking.
Oh,
was
yeah.
just it was, again, I wasn't scared to my core, but I was very shaken up and very startled because we were in a pitch black basement, dead quiet, and then just pop,
And a direct response to an EDB question.
within
I mean,
5 seconds.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was crazy.
What do you have, Michelle? You got anything?
Well, I've had similar experiences, recently. But going back to my childhood, I don't remember too much. But I remember not being afraid of the dark and then being expressly afraid of the dark. It was like within night and day. And I can't remember why. But it was just, one day, tra-la-la, okay, the lights are out, go to sleep. And the next day, I'm sleeping with the covers over my head. I couldn't go to the potty without somebody coming with me, So I really
Did you
got
watch Fire in the Sky? Because that kind of did it for me. It scared the crap out of me, that movie.
No,
And then after
no.
that, I was afraid of the dark. I would sleep with a knife underneath my pillow. I would sleep with objects, and I was afraid that I was going to get abducted in the middle of the night. Oh, yeah. That sucks.
Tell me, Tom.
Well, as far as being startled, then that was definitely one. Our shared experience in Lake George, the first time we were there too, when the flash went off and there was someone standing right behind you, and I saw it and you felt it at the same time. That was
That's cool.
a moment. But the only time I would say I felt scared was Sheep Pasture Park. When I just didn't like what I saw, didn't like what I felt, whatever it was. I was scared. I was a lot of emotions, but just knew I didn't want to be there anymore, and you know, couldn't get out of there fast enough. And especially when I saw how everyone else was feeling too.
That was a weird
That's
night.
that's what gets me, like, because that night I was, you know, me and Will were we were angry, man.
Livid.
I wanted to
Livid.
humble whatever
I've
was there.
never been that man in my life.
Right, me, like, I mean, I can't say that.
10 minutes ago. Yeah, man.
But that was crazy, because, like, when you think back on it, how whatever was there affected us a lot in different ways. You know, like, me and Will felt angry, but, like, you were like, yo, we gotta get out of here. I feel like you said the same thing, you said the same thing. It was like, what the hell is going on? You know, and when you think about it, it was definitely not something like your regular spirit. You know what I'm saying? It's something way more going on there than we can really understand at this moment in time.
I remember when we went up to you and me took a walk to the full spectrum HDD camera to
Yeah.
go swap out the battery. I was like, yo, something doesn't feel right, and I'm gonna shut my emotions off. I expressed it to you
Yeah.
right away, and then right after that we went up, everybody started having those emotions, and I was like,
Yep.
Oh.
I literally wanted to run across that field and just just go ham on it. I'm sure if I ran out there by myself, it would have been a different story. Yes, had it to me,
yeah.
but yeah. That's it.
All right, thank you very much for that, Tom. So what did you guys think of the question of the week? What makes you scared? What have you experienced out in an investigation or with your friends that made you terrified? Let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button to join in and watch more of our videos. Also, don't forget to hit the little bell in the right-hand corner. This way you get alarms and notifications to know when we have our newest videos. Thank you guys for watching us on this latest edition of Question of the Week. And until next time, have a good night.